Today we're doing a product review. We're looking at the power rack that I purchased along with the attachment of a functional trainer. What is a functional trainer? If you've ever been to a gym and you see a dual cable pulley, these bad boys, and you can adjust where it is in height, that is a functional trainer. You can see like a Free Motion, there's Kaiser, there's a ton of different brands on the market, but this attachment is known as the functional trainer. Today we're gonna talk about, am I happy with my purchase, what I might have done differently, and just overall thoughts with this being the foundation of my gym. So the product in particular, the power rack I went with was a Rep Fitness Athena. I went with the Selectorized, and then for the power rack, it's the Rep Fitness PR 5000. A lot of words there, but I'll break it all down for you. So this cost me around $4,150. That's a reasonable price for getting a functional trainer with also a power rack. The power rack would be much cheaper if you just got it by yourself, but when you add on a functional trainer, that increases the price. But it also allows you to do a lot more at home. I never envisioned that this project would have gone as far as it has, and I'll get into that later, but I ended up adding lever arms to this thing, and so between the functional trainer and the lever arms, I'm really glad that I got the height that I did. Also, I'm tall, but I don't think that really played that major of a factor. I could have got the 80-inch height one and been just fine. But I would recommend, if you can get the 93-inch, get it, especially if you're buying the functional trainer. I got a 6-post, which simply means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 posts on here. It's the 6-post. And the reason I did that is because I don't want to have to squat out of here, and again, because I wanted the functional trainer. So I do all of my power rack work inside of here, so that I'm nice and secure. And then on the outside is where I do all like my tricep stuff or my chest flies, movements like that. The outside is where I use the functional trainer. I got a cross member. This is how long apart the 4 and the 6 posts are, of 30 inches. There's shorter ones, there's 16 inches. There's also longer ones that are like 41 inches. 30 inches is enough that I have plenty of space in here that I can walk out. I can do my good mornings. I can do my squats. I can do everything that I need to do. The other major decision is I got the Selectorized. That just refers to this stack of weight here. You could have got it plate loaded. I mean, you could have loaded on like 45s to use for your functional trainer, but I wanted something super convenient that my girlfriend could use. It felt very accessible and it's very convenient. The big difference between the PR 4000 and PR 5000 is price, first and foremost, and then secondly, the size of the holes. These are 1-inch holes, whereas with the 4000, they're 5 8-inch holes. In general, I think the higher quality attachments are gonna be 1 inches long. Rogue calls them Monster, and then the 5 8 inches Monster Light. And Rogue just has better attachments for the Monster than they do Monster Light. And in general, just brands out there, I think that there are better options for 1-inch holes. So I think it's worth the extra money that you're spending because you just have more options that you can do with a 1-inch hole as opposed to the 5 8-inch hole. And that's all it is. It's attachments like this. It's attachment like lever arms. They attach particularly for those 1-inch holes. I also got the multi-grip pull-up bar. To me, this is completely worth it because I can do supinated, I can do neutral, I can do traditional pull-ups. Overall, this is about $4,150. That's with taxes and delivery, everything included in here. When you factor in that this has the cable attachment to it, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, if you were to go buy a functional trainer by itself, something like a Free Motion is gonna be $6,000, $7,000 by itself. So when you look at both getting a power rack and the functional trainer, that is a very, very good price, which is why Reps Fitness is just so remarkable. One of the things that I would have done differently when ordering this, if I was to order this model again, originally I paid like $90 for these. They go in here and they go through. They're a cheaper version of like a cross member. The problem is with this attachment, if you try to pull this down, you can't. So if I have this in, I can't bring this up and down. I have to pull these specifically out in order to put them in. So don't waste, if you're gonna buy this model, you're gonna buy this setup, don't waste money buying these. Spend the extra money to get these cross members. They're super sleek, and again, you can move the functional trainer up and down with them being set up. Why do I have these? Of course, if I'm squatting and I miss the squat, they're there for safety precaution. And also too, I found some really cool things that I can do with them in the lever arms. I can literally attach it onto here and change like where I set up the weight on it. You can attach it right on here, and it really allows you to do some very cool things with it. So it's kind of convenient. You can put the weight horns through here and set it up so you can load plates onto it that way. So I really like this cross member. I wouldn't get the default ones that they offer. They offer like 3 different options. Don't buy any of them. They're all a waste of time. Spend the extra money and get this bad boy. So with the intention to use these lever arms, I'm gonna definitely have to invest in the upgraded stack. It's about $160. It's gonna take the total weight from 170 to 220. If your intention with this is just to do things like triceps, reverse flies, cables, you don't need the upgraded stack. But because I decided to get these lever arms and to do more in this in-home gym space, I'm gonna need to invest in the upgraded stack. Which brings me to my next point. I could have bought, instead of the Athena, I could have bought the Aries, and that comes with an even heavier weight stack. With the upgrade, this will go from 170 to 220. The Aries goes all the way up to, with the upgrade, to 310 pounds. So if I was to do this all over again, I probably wouldn't even get the Athena. I would probably end up getting the Aries, and I would get the 2.0 that just came out. That doesn't mean that I'm not happy with this. I love this piece of equipment. However, when I started building this in-home gym 8 months ago, I had no idea that I would love training here so much. I thought that the majority of the time I'd still be going to a commercial gym and I would just use this gym space occasionally. But the reality is I love training at home. And so because of that, I now want to be able to do machine press here. I want to be able to do machine incline press here. I want to be able to do tricep push down. So if I was to do it all over again, I would actually get the Aries 2.0 as opposed to the Athena. Again, if you're a beginner lifter and you don't plan on getting lever arms, just get the Athena. It's incredible. But if you want to be able to really push some heavy weight and kind of mimic machines while at home, you need to get the lever arms, and you also need to get the Aries 2.0. Very happy with this, very happy that I ended up purchasing it. I can't speak highly enough about Rep Fitness as a company. Rogue is incredible, they were innovative, but they're so big that they don't give a fuck about the consumer anymore. I bought these lever arms from them. They sent it to me. When originally they sent it to me, one of the pieces was incorrect. One of the knobs wasn't knurled. I sent them pictures of it. They eventually resent me the correct piece, but even the correct piece was not correct. They missed something on it. It took 3 weeks for them to eventually get me a workable lever arm, and they were not apologetic at all. Whereas Rep Fitness has probably spent over an hour on the phone with me, walking me through everything. They're really appreciative, they have amazing customer service, and they have really quality products that are really affordable. So I actually love giving Rep Fitness my money, and I kind of loathe when I have to buy something for Rogue. So I can't speak highly enough about the brand. I would absolutely go with Rep Fitness if it makes sense for you. I would absolutely, for most people who want to casually train, who don't plan on investing in things like lever arms, I would go with the Athena Selectorized like I got without the upgraded stack. But if you're really committed to like this being the only spot that you train, I would go with the Aries 2.0. I would bother to get lever arm attachments. There's a couple, I bought the Rogue, and I bought the Rogue with the gym pin, and I bought it with this Vendetta. There's now a company coming out with a fully functional lever arm. I don't want to talk about it yet because I haven't seen enough reviews on it, but it's coming out. They're starting pre-orders for it. It should be out in September. I would go with that setup as opposed to this if I knew everything that I knew now. Having said this, I'm still very happy with what I purchased. I love everything about this setup. The biggest thing that I would have done differently is I would not have bought those initial cross members, and I might have saved myself like 200 bucks not getting this dip attachment that I've still yet to use. But this is an additional purchase. I decided to buy it. All in, you're gonna look at about 4K for this setup, and I think it's totally worth it. It's a lot of value for what you're paying. You can do almost everything that you do at a commercial gym. The only thing you can't do is like machine presses, machine rows, unless you invest the extra money in those lever arms. But if you do that, I mean, you can do almost everything that you can do at a commercial gym outside of like leg press, hack squat, belt squat, stuff like this. I'm very, very, very glad that I went with Rep Fitness. And again, my only change would be getting the Aries as opposed to the Athena. But I think for most of you watching this, you should still go with the Athena. Guys, thanks for tuning in. That's my review of the Rep Fitness Athena Selectorized with the Power Rack, the PR5000. If you like what you saw today, hit like, leave a comment. If you want to hear any of my thoughts or any other things that you have questions about surrounding this product, thank you for tuning in. The majority of my following is on Instagram. If you like what you saw here today, you can always hit subscribe for YouTube, and you can also follow me there on Instagram.